Ever get the eerie feeling that the next move Detroit makes won't just change a game, but rewrite the entire narrative we've been stuck in for decades? Like the kind of shift you feel deep in your bones while the world around you is pretending. Everything's just the same old song, and yet somewhere behind the scenes, the script is burning and being rewritten in real time. You feel cornered by history, by the ghosts of missed chances. But there's this glimmer, just a flicker of something wild, something raw, something that could finally snap this city out of its torment. If you've been breathing every play, every report, every nugget that trickles out of Allen Park, then you know what I'm talking about. So if you think you can stomach the truth, if you're ready to dare hope once again like only this city can, make your voice heard right now, because this is about the Detroit Lions, and we're not just fans. We're a battalion bound by pain and pride. Behind the gloss of camp battles and rookie hype, underneath the chatter about who's injured or who's ready to step up, there is a tension so thick it could snap your neck. Executives are holding their breath quietly. Insiders are whispering in dimly lit rooms about a potentially seismic move. No, it's not another day-to-day injury report or some marginal depth chart swap. It's bigger. It's a name, Christian Wilkins. Yeah, that Christian Wilkins. A former Raider defensive lineman, a physical force we've seen tear through offensive lines when he's at his best. You might have heard murmurs, a Detroit-specific rumor swirling with more heat than a summer dusk over Comerica Park. But here's the thing: you want excitement. You want hope. You want that surge of adrenaline that says Lions might find a piece that changes everything, right? Well, Wilkins isn't the fairy tale some want him to be. Far from it. His relationship with his last team cracked right down the middle over a foot injury where the Lions wanted surgery, and Wilkins flat out refused. That's not just a red flag. That's a signal flare that tells you everything about whether he can lock in with Detroit's culture, that iron-willed, no-excuses, blue-collar ethos that this team lives and breathes. And let's be honest, with Tyleik Williams battling hard, DJ Reader showing flashes of the beast he was before, Roy Lopez holding down the fort, and the looming returns of Mekhi Wingo and Alim McNeil, there's not exactly a glaring hole begging to be plugged on that defensive front. So, why would Detroit chase a player who might not buy into the mindset that's supposed to turn this grind of a season into something glorious? It's maddening, isn't it? As fans, our souls are pulled in two directions, yearning for that immediate impact, that ferocious spark Wilkins could bring, and grounded by the brutal reality of whether he is even the right fit, whether he's going to hold up not just on the field, but inside the locker room. This city, Detroit, it doesn't just want wins. We want warriors. We want flesh and bone gladiators who understand what it means to carry the weight of failure and turn it into fuel. From 91 heartbreak to Caldwell's stinging tenure and every gut punch in between, we've weathered storms that would sink other fan bases. But this time, what if this move, this flirtation with Wilkins, is the kind of gamble that sparks a flame Detroit hasn't seen in years? Imagine the roar if that defensive line suddenly morphed into a wrecking crew. If Wilkins came in with fire in his eyes, if he proved himself not just audibly, but physically under those silver and Honolulu blue lights. But what if it's all smoke and mirrors? What if bringing in a player with a fractured relationship and uncertain health risks derails the fragile chemistry blossoming on this roster? And what if this gamble burns the bridge to other avenues the Lions might pursue in the offseason? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the clock is ticking louder with every practice rep, every cut down, every sideline whisper. And if this domino falls, you won't believe who's next to rise or fall in this high-stakes chess match. Because if the Wilkins move hits, Detroit's not just coming back, they're coming for blood, hungry for redemption, ready to drag every doubter through the mud. And now the fuse is lit, there's no turning back, only the deafening countdown to explosion. And the whole city is waiting with bated breath. Unleash the fury. Detroit, this is the moment we've been waiting for, the moment that could shatter the chains of accursed history and awaken the sleeping giant lurking beneath the ashes of heartbreak and frustration. You feel it, don't you? That primal, almost desperate hope bubbling beneath the surface, pounding in our chests like a drumbeat. For Revolution, it's been decades of torment. From the nightmares of 0 to 16, to the soul-crushing specter of Calvin's retirement, from the barren days after Sanders' exit to the wild-card heartbreak that haunts every fan's dreams. We've watched legends rise and fall, Caldwell's firing sending shockwaves across Allen Park, the digital grief over Matthew Stafford's departure, the whispers of speculation darkening every offseason, and through it all, we've held tight to that ember of hope, waiting for a spark just like this. Now, with insiders whispering about Christian Wilkins, this ferocious beast who's been broken yet unbowed, who's a question mark wrapped in raw talent and fierce pride, we see the possibility of a new dawn flickering on the horizon. What if this isn't just about locking down a defensive lineman? What if it's about rewriting the story, flipping the narrative that Detroit is destined to fade in mediocrity? The front office, those shadowy chess masters, are playing their hand, speaking in hushed tones about cap hits, injury risks, locker room chemistry, yet beneath all that lies a raw, unfiltered hunger for a legacy they refuse to surrender. A hunger that mirrors every Lions fan who's endured the pain, the tears, the roller coaster of hope and despair. Because in Detroit, we don't just cheer for good plays. We bleed for every inch gained, every stone turned over, every chance to erase the darkness that hung over Ford Field like a heavyweight champ waiting to strike. And as rivals in Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago look on with paranoia nervous whispers about our resurgence, our team is quietly plotting, tugging at every thread of this fragile tapestry, knowing full well that this Wilkins gamble could either cripple us or set us loose on a path to redemption that's been so long in coming. You can almost feel every legend in the city buries ghosts in the back of every fan's mind. Calvin's silent retirement weighing heavy on our hearts. Dan Orlovsky's legendary safety echoing through history, rising in fury, demanding we not settle for another lost decade. Because in our bones, we know it's not just about a player or a scheme. It's about reclaiming that pride that refused to die, about turning heartbreak into triumph, about the roar of the silver and blue finally echoing louder than the noise of all the doubters. But here's where it gets even darker. What if Wilkins' fractured ties, his fight with the Raiders, his stubborn refusal to accept surgery, is a sign that he's too volatile, too unpredictable, a ticking time bomb in a locker room craving stability? What if the risks outweigh the reward, and this gamble becomes the blunder that haunts us for years? As the clock ticks down on roster decisions, every practice rep, every whispered conversation behind closed doors feels like a countdown to destiny. A leap into the unknown that could make or break everything we fought so hard to rebuild. Those rivals will keep waiting, watching in silence, sensing at long last that Detroit's rebirth is now within reach, but only if we dare to leap, if we're willing to embrace chaos with the hope that this move, this miracle in the making, isn't just blind optimism, but the fissure that shatters the wall of despair. Because the moment Wilkins steps into Ford Field and laces up those cleats, the entire city's future could hinge on a single play, one move, one shift, one daring act that flips the script, that rewrites history, that reassets the legend of the Detroit Lions. So tell me, with everything on the line, are we ready to take that gamble, to face the fire head on, to carve out our destiny in the smoldering ruins of our past? Or will this be the final chapter in a saga of hope betrayed, with all eyes watching as the flames ignite and the future remains buried in darkness, waiting for the roar that finally unleashes chaos and change?